So we are starting 16.5 day 4. So this is our last day of elapsed time. So make sure that you are using those timelines every day. When you are completing your work, the lines are drawn for you. So you must be doing those timelines. Before we get into another example, we're going to look at our workbook pages from yesterday. So they're giving us a start time and they want to know what 3 hours and 15 minutes later is. So you could skip count your hours from here. So we're at 9, which would bring us to 10, 11, 12. So I like to write it in before I forget one. And then 15 minutes later, so 30 plus 15 would bring us to 12:45. Now again, it's 9:30 p.m., which means it's nighttime. If it's going past 12, this means it would be changing to a.m. All right, now we're going backwards. They want to know 2 hours and 45 minutes before. So we can jump back our 2 hours. So if we're at 2 a.m., that would bring us to 1 a.m. to 12 a.m. And then we need to jump 45 minutes before 12 a.m. So that means we're going it would go back into 11. And you want to be thinking about in the beginning when we did those combinations to get 60 minutes. So what combination would go with 45 in our minutes to complete that hour? So if we're going, because we're at a solid hour at 2, so we're working back 45 minutes, which would bring us to 11:15. Now again, we passed over 12, so this would mean it is p.m. here. Alright, so again, draw a timeline to help you. Suki exercises every morning. She starts at 6:30 a.m. and ends at 8:15 a.m. How long does she exercise? So we have our start time, we have our end time. So we are going to jump to that first solid hour after, which would be 7. And then we need to think going from 6:30 to 7 is a difference of 30 minutes. Okay, and then we can look at our end time and jump back to that solid hour before, which would be 8. And that means from here to the end time is a total of 15 minutes. And then we need to fill in our middle jump, which is an hour, and then we should be putting it all together. So we have 1 hour, we have 30 minutes, and we have 15 minutes to get an answer of 1 hour, 45 minutes. Now for 13, Devin started reading a book at 2:35 p.m. She took 3 hours, 10 minutes to finish the book. What time did she finish reading the book? So this should be an important word that if you were taking a test, you want to highlight that. So they're asking for a time and the finish time. So this means we're looking for the end time. So we're going to start with our timeline. We need to go a total of 3 hours and 10 minutes. So you get a little bit of freedom when you're finding that end time. So you have some options here. You could jump 3 hours first if you choose. Okay, and then you just need to be careful that you count it correctly. So if you're at 2:35, then you would be at 3:40, 3:35, 4:35, 5:35 would be that jump here. And then you can finish up because we did our 3 hours and we need to do an additional 10 minutes. So we're thinking 10 minutes after 5:35 would bring us to 5:45. And then take a look at your AM and PM. So we were at 2:35 p.m. We haven't passed any 12 o'clocks, so it will stay PM. Alright, so this time we're going to be finding a start time here. So we'll be working backwards because they'll be giving us the elapsed time, how much time has passed, and the end time. So Brooke was painting a sign. She finished painting it at 3 p.m. It took 1 hour, 50 minutes to paint. When did she begin? So again, you want to look for those clue words. Before, like on our workbook, we looked at finished. Now we're looking for something like begin. When did they begin? So they have the timeline done here. So they have the end time filled in, and then the start time has a question mark. So they first jump back that hour, and then they jump back those additional 50 minutes, which then would bring us to a start time of 1:10 p.m. And again, to check your answer, you can just go the opposite way that we've been practicing. So let's take a look at some of this practice. So Jamal spends 45 minutes opening his birthday gifts. He finished opening his gifts at 12:05 a.m. What time did he start? So again, they want a time and they want to know when did he start. So they're having us do that first jump back, okay, to midnight, which means that's a difference of 5 minutes. Now, we know he went a total of 45 minutes though, so then our final jump should be 40 minutes back, and midnight again is 12 a.m. And to jump 40 minutes back would bring us to 11:20. And then remember, this is a.m., so we're going back, which would bring us to p.m. So you're going to be doing 3 practice problems today. You need to make sure you're using the timelines, okay? So again, pay attention when they're asking for a time and for the start. Same thing for this one. They want to know when she began, and they want to know what time. And for this one, what time should he take the last tablet for the day? Okay, once you finish that, you are raising your hand on this slide and doing workbook page 158. Remember to be showing your work and do your best.